Hey, Theron, metal theologian. Just fixing this thing. Yeah, I really don't know what I'm going to talk about today, so I'm kind of thinking about doing a record on a video on weird records. That's where the idea came because of this record, which I kind of just turned on to. This record has a really bad reputation. Like, if you get into, like, you know, sort of metal private presses, this Dark Ages one is the name of the band. That has a really bad reputation. Like, there's at least one review that someone put on the Curiosities site where they said, okay, I heard this record was bad. I thought I was going to dig it because I like shit that's bad. I didn't like this, okay? I don't think it's that bad. In fact, it's kind of fun, but there's like this sort of really fundamental incompetence to it that just makes it, I mean, really kind of special in its own way, you know? Yeah, I mean, it's really fantastic. Mostly the singer sings really flat a lot of the time. And then, you know, it's funny because it kind of seems like it was her project, Erin Jean, whoever that is. It kind of gives that vibe off. And, there's another one I listened to recently. Yeah, this one kind of vibes out like that too. This Militia or whatever it's called, Serve Your Savage Beast. This is totally Kim LaChance's project. You know, they even talk about it that way on the inside. Like, I mean, that's why there's so many musicians and shit. But this is really good. You know what I mean? This comes off as like the songs are good. It's well put together, and you know, it's just a good listen. You know, this one. Well, I just copped to something else too now, didn't I? Because, yeah, this is a little bit of a struggle to listen to, so, maybe it does suck even if you like bad stuff, but I kind of love it anyway. Anyway, I have some other weird records like that, so I've been pulling them out, but I'm trying to decide because it's hard to say with some of these whether they're actually, like, really weird or just bad, you know, so we'll see. Anyway, I can hype Messiah a little bit more here, too, because, these reissues, this is the EP, excuse me, which has the whole EP on one side, and then actually worthwhile bonus tracks on side 2. You won't hear me say that very often, but side 2 of this, fantastic. Of course, Messiah is so awesome. Yeah, so there's that real primitive version of Evil Eyes. I think that was on the LP, maybe not. But then these really primitive versions of Lucifer and Final Warning and another song that didn't come anywhere else. It's great, man. The whole thing is great. So, totally cornball, right? But great. Yeah, do yourself a favor and get that one. And this one's even more important. This is just one of the best records there is. I showed this last time, so just typing a little more. So speaking of height, let's do 180 on the height. I pulled this record out. Now, in fairness, I've been listening to a lot of like sort of private pressings and that, and so the level that this is at production-wise kind of puts it on different footing to start out with in a way that the comparison isn't really fair because I just might not have been in the right place to hear something that's produced like this, okay? But I just still don't get this band, or this record. I mean, it's good, you know, I like it, but they have some die-hard fans, Fate's Warning, man. There are people who just love this fucking band. And you know something? I feel like one day I'm gonna be one of them, but it hasn't happened yet, you know? It's like, it's cool. I mean, I have the records, but I play them, you know? It's just... like with Heir Apparent too, although I like Fate's Warning a lot more than Heir Apparent, but that's another one that's supposed to be like super technical and like really great, and they kind of leave me cold too. A lot more than Fate's Warning, actually. I really don't like Heir Apparent very much. You know who I do like though is Doc. I went and bought this, I'll be honest, man. A couple of these I went and bought because I found an old video of Renee's Holspa Metal, who was showing all these rap bands from Argentina, so I grabbed this one, and it's awesome. Straight ahead, really just pretty straight ahead heavy metal, but it's really good. This guy does not look like he would be on the record, but it's awesome. You know, they're from Argentina, so the rules are going to be fucking different there, right? Yeah, that's a really cool record, and you know, it's funny, it's one of those things where they didn't press it on record until just a few years ago, but they only did like 330. So there aren't very many of these kicking around, but there are so few Doc fans that if you decide you're interested, you can probably find one without paying too much for it, you know? Oh, so here's another one I actually forgot that I had. Here's a few good ones. Alright. So first of all, yeah, I'd forgotten I had this one. Black Hawk, you ever heard this? It's a German band, I'm pretty sure. Actually, you know something? If there's one hint as to whether it's a German band, there's the mustaches. Because the Germans are the fucking kings of the roost when it comes to the mustaches. I mean, there are a few good American ones, there are a lot of good British ones and from elsewhere too. But the Germans, they pretty much always bring it with the mustaches. And you know what's fucking funny? Is when I was there, I remember that. Like, it was a thing, but it was more just like a function of the fact that, like, you know, I had friends who were, like, in late puberty and didn't, like, shave yet, you know? It's kind of funny, so, I don't know, what's the charm? Could be one or the other. Anyway, this record's really kind of lovable. It's not, like, great, but what it kind of sounds like is, I was thinking it sounded like if Ironhawk was, like, a high school garage band. You know what I mean? If they were like a school function and like the band played there with the students and they were Ironhawk basically, and this is what they'd sound like. Because there's some really good ideas on this record. You know, there's some real cornball execution, and you know, a lot of times they'll have like a couple really cool riffs in the song and then a really cheesy chorus or something like that. They sort of step on their own toes a little bit. You know what I mean? But underlying it, there's just this sort of, these guys are doing something right, you know? I mean, the Ironhawk record is really a lot better, but I got a shitty comment from someone a few days ago, because I compared the singer to Sanctuary with the guy from Trouble. And you know, even though, like, yeah, I disagree with you, which is fine. He's like, fuck you, man, you didn't know anything, fucking moron, thinking they sounded like... It's funny, right? So, yeah, I think of that now when I was saying that this record and Ironhawk kind of have a similarity going on. I'm going to hear about what an idiot I am. Let's see more far-fetched shit I can come up with. Keep it going. This record's awesome, man. Just fucking, it's another one that's just good heavy metal, man. Messiah Force. The Last Day. They just made this one LP. They're Canadian, and I think they're French-Canadian. Yeah, so it's another one of those French-Canadian ones that, you know what's funny? There aren't any mustaches, but look how they all have the same hair. I was really kind of impressed by that. Anyway, just solid heavy metal. Like, the singer, you know, a lot of times they're women singers that kind of, I don't know, they sound like they're someone's girlfriend, you know what I mean? But she really brings it like a fucking rock and roll singer, and she's fucking great. So yeah, 2 thumbs up for Messiah Force. Yeah, what else? There's another one I've completely forgotten about. It's funny, the cover of this one, well, I like the cover of this one, but you know, the name of the band is off-putting. I mean, normally I love shit that looks like this. And before I ever got this record, the demo that this came from had sort of like this cult status, it seemed like. You know, people talk about the Chosen Fate record, but it's like, yeah, but if you have a mediocre name, you don't make it better by spelling it wrong, you know? It's fucking sad in a way. Anyway, I busted this out. The singer's kind of like Wales at the same level across the whole thing. Gets a little bit annoying after a while. But the riffs and the writing are solid. And overall, this is a pretty enjoyable record. And I think it's Jesus metal, too. I'm not quite sure, but, because it's not like I was listening that closely. But I thought I heard some Jesus stuff in there. So, yeah, just a little extra. You know what I mean? It's like the cherry on top of the sundae. Yeah, and on that note, our very own. I've actually been playing this one a lot. So, yeah, there's a new reissue of Into the Pit coming out. So if you don't have any Ultimatum on record and you want some, I know you can pre-order that now from, that's one of their limited run vinyl series. Just, you'll find it. So yeah. And Into the Pit is probably my favorite of their full lengths. It's close between Into the Pit and Puppet Destruction. I really like both a lot. So this one's kind of like when I can't make up my mind, you know. Yeah, I played this guy a couple times. Shit, you know, I have this theory about the Liege Lord records, which I actually already know is bogus. But hang on a sec, actually. Maybe I'll just grab those covers real quick. Fuck. Alright, here's how this goes. Now again, I already know this is baloney, but this is kind of like a theory that I'd like to believe. Okay? As far as like Liege Lord being a great band, and again, this is, in a way this is sort of parallel with Manila Road, so, but only sort of. So like the first one, right, with the American version of, Freedom's Rise, like, it's definitely metal in spirit, you know what I mean? And not just metal in that, like, it's fast or heavy, but, like, it's adopting the, you know, the imagery and that sort of thing, too. But the black and white picture, the kind of understated font in that, it kind of looks like it has, it still has a foot in the 70s, you know what I mean? Like, in the late 70s, with sort of building up to the metal of the 80s. So then their next record is like, this was cool like when metal was like getting going, when they were really kind of cranking them out, you know what I mean? So this is sort of like when they were coming into their prime, you know what I mean? They were on Metal Blade. Yeah, it's a Metal Blade Combat co-release, Burn to My Touch, this one. And that's really kind of what the artwork looks like, too. It kind of looks like low-budget, like, mid-80s metal. And then this one is like Liege Lord, like, fully realized, okay? This is like the final form, where, like, the art is a lot more sort of, it has a lot more character. It doesn't just sort of look like a generic, you know, 80s, legit 80s metal art they put on the record. It looks more like some thought went into the concept and that. You know, the logo isn't tremendous, but you can't win them all, right? By the way, I love all three of these records, just to be clear. This is probably my favorite, but it's close. So, yeah, anyway, I know that that's bullshit because I just know more about the history of the band than that. But that would be an awesome story, wouldn't it? Here's the part that I haven't been able to figure out yet, and that's where this version would go. The Black Dragon cover of Freedom's Rise. I mean, this really kind of has the metal thing going, as far as the execution, but the concept could have come out of the 70s, you know what I mean? Like, it makes me think of, like, I don't know, it kind of reminds me of the Winterhawk record, maybe, in style, or A Pound of Flesh by Kane with the sort of gore and shit, you know what I mean? So, yeah, anyway, that part of the theory has to be worked out. So there, I hope that was worth it. There's a ton of shit I've been listening to. I'm just trying to look and see what I feel like talking about. Oh, shit. Okay, here are a couple of things. Fuck. Alright, this record is fucking fantastic. Speaking of singers who are women, I've kind of been branching out, like, I hate to say female singer. It sounds so, like, dehumanizing. You know what I mean? But anyway... It sounds self-conscious to say women singers, though, so I don't fucking know. Anyway, she sounds great, man. She's like has like this fucking rasp and this like really sort of intense delivery and just belts it out, you know what I mean? Fucking first-rate singer, you know what I mean? And the songs on this record are great too. There's a little bit of cheese shit on this too. Like the kind of corny shit that can kind of take away from the record, but it goes right by you. Like there's a song called Metal Taco, right? It's like, fuck, you know? But it's just like a little instrumental and it's only a minute and a half and like by the end of that, you're like into the song, and it's just fucking heavy and great. So yeah, I think these guys are from the Seattle area. Yeah, Tacoma is the address. So Taste of Iron. This has been reissued. I don't know how legitimately, but at least listen to it online. It's a great record. Okay, so I mentioned I've been listening to some Jesus metal, right? I should have been busting out some of the old favorites. And this one, I really like this record. Okay, this is some band called Cross that made a demo. It's another one of these 300 runs on Steel Legacy. And this record is basically the demo and then a few live tracks from a show they played, like around the time. The sound quality in the live tracks is really so bad that it's pretty much unlistenable. So I kind of wish they just left it as an EP and with the, 5 songs from the demo or whatever it is. But anyway, the songs are really good. I think they get lost a little bit sometimes. You know, they sort of go do this like tortuous riffs thing to a certain degree. Actually, not so much like tortuous riffs, more like epic, like with a lot of parts. You know what I mean? So more like Satan's Fall by Merciful Fate than Ravenous Medicine by Voivod, if that makes sense. Okay. So anyway, they get lost in themselves a little bit sometimes, but they recover. And overall, this is a really fun band to listen to, man. I just kind of love the songs. Like, it's a real sort of, it's like legit, sincere, epic metal from a group of real amateurs. You know what I mean? And it's fantastic for that. You know, it's great. But you know what record I fucking love even more? I can't believe how good this was when I busted it out. It was Final Acts. This thing kind of hung around the distos for a long time because they pressed all of 500 of this one. This was actually, here's another thing I love. It's on Steel Legacy Records, right? It's on their sub label though for Jesus Metal, which is Cross Legacy Records. And this was their first release. So the very first Steel Legacy release was actually on the sub label. And actually, it even has a special label. Oh, it's different. Well, here, I'll show you this one. Anyway, this record is heavy, man, and it rocks, and it, yeah, there's that one. And it's just awesome. Yeah, maybe I'll put this one on next, actually. I'm just going to fucking put this on there. Because I'm not finding myself to have the vocabulary for Final Acts right now, so I'll just do it. Shit. God, I love Miss Science so much. Yeah, so this is another one. I think this was just a demo when it came out, too. But the recording is a lot better. I mean, this actually sounds like, you know, a record. Like someone made a record rather than someone made a demo. Watch, it's going to sound like Battle Cry because I mixed up my bands and I look like a total dumbass. No, I'm just kidding. I don't mix up bands in that way. I do other things, though. I think my classic, like, mistake video, which you'd have to go back and find, although it is still up, was when I was talking about Venom for a long time. And I was pointing to pictures and shit, and I was confusing Mantis and Abaddon consistently through the whole thing. And no one called me out on it, you know. Later on, I was like, oh shit, and I thought about, like, redoing it or something. I was like, ah, fuck it. Isn't this great? It's so serious, you know what I mean? And that is kind of how I like my Jesus metal. Yeah, Baptized in Blood. Are You Ready? Soldier of Compromise. That's a good one. God, every song I could name. Blind Faith is great. Even like Rated X, like their anti-porn song. You think that's gonna be like, oh my God, right? It's great. It's a really good song. Yeah. Yes, that's a real winner, man. In fact, the whole like Cross Legacy series is a real winner too. I like this one a lot. There's another Steel Legacy, since I've sort of been going through them. And I might have talked about this in my last video. I don't remember, but this one took me a while, but I'm really starting to like it a lot. And there's something weird about it. And what it is, at least to my ears, is, you know, it's intricate with the songwriting and all that. It's sort of, you know, one of those more noodly sort of proggy bands, right? Not to the degree as like Cross or Merciful Fate, but like sort of in that direction, and pretty far along in that direction too, don't get me wrong. But the singer they have sounds like one of the guys from, he sounds like from the Cleveland punk bands from the 70s. Like I want to say Paul Murata or something like that. I'm not sure if it's, like when I sort of hear the voice, there are a couple specific songs, but I'm not sure which one it is, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, now I'm gonna like. It kind of sounds like the Mirrors or the Styrings or something like that. If I start going down songs, I'll just get lost in that shit. So, anyway, that's a weird sound for a singer to have who's singing in a metal band, and not just any metal band, but this type of metal, you know. Although that might just be my personal association with that singer, with you know, specifically with the Cleveland punk shit. Man, I'm stumbling all over my words today. Let's see what else we have here. Yeah, I think those are the big ones I was freaking out about. Yeah, here's another. This is a little bit of a bummer to end on, so I'll have to find one more. This video is going a little long too, but whatever. This is a Swedish band called Lazy. And I don't know, man, it's just kind of forgettable. You know, it's not bad. You know what's funny is it kind of sounds a little bit Japanese as far as like how it's sort of the way it gets corny in certain places in a certain way. I don't know, I'm going to listen to it again before I put it away though. Maybe I'll change my mind and decide it's good. Listen to this song though. This one's cool. I'll just show it. I'd like to say something witty, but I actually don't remember it since I played it, and that should probably tell you something, you know? I appreciate that it's a three-piece, you know? It definitely comes off like it's this guy's project, the guy in the middle. But, yeah, I remember liking the record, but I don't remember what it sounded like, so there you go. That's my review of that one. Oh, okay, I know what I'm going to go out with. Someone, and I forgot who, and I apologize for that, but someone asked me in a comment to show some Mahogany Rush. So I actually pulled out my Mahogany Rush record. I'm going to show them real quick. There's a fucking sign right there. There it is. Okay, cool. Alright. So this one actually came from Scott Waters. This is probably my favorite one. I tend to start with the early ones and kind of obsess in that direction, but this fourth one is probably my favorite one, just because it feels like it feels almost like it's its own record. You know what I mean? Like this one, you know, I really try not to say things like, oh, fucking Frank Marino plays like, or you know, this. It's not just guitar playing; it's the singing and everything about it. It's so easy to say, oh, he sounds like Jimi Hendrix, or like he's imitating Jimi Hendrix, and I don't want to be saying that on top of everyone else, right? But that's really about all I could think of with this record. Doesn't mean I didn't like it. I actually did like it, but it doesn't really have its own identity. So I actually pulled out Children of the Universe, which is the only other one that I have. Let's see if I can find it real quick. My things are coming out soon. Yeah, there's this one. Yeah, I put this on for like a minute, and I wasn't in the right headspace, so I actually changed it. So to all intents and purposes, I haven't replayed this one yet. But that's it for my Mahogany Rush anyway. I'm not really a huge fan. You know, I like that stuff okay, but yeah. Alright, so anyway, I think that's about enough. So, it's so good, man. Fucking final acts. I bet Scott has a copy of the original tape. Thanks for watching.